All right. This is
Hey.
the Stell Me About It podcast. I'm Stella Graham, and I'm going to talk to some interesting people who know some stuff because I need it, because I am a little bit thick, people. My guest today is the fabulous Sikisa, also known
Hey.
as Twix. Hello, how are
Hey.
you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I've got to ask, with a name like Twix, where did that come from?
It's a nickname I got in law school. A bunch near my friends used to bring chocolates into our class quite a lot, and our tutor told us, "Oh, you should just name yourself after like the chocolate girls." So we named each other after chocolate that represents us. So I'm called Twix because I'm a Gemini, and I'm obviously
Uh-huh.
black with a hint of caramel. But when I started doing comedy, it also was easier for me to be called Twix than my first name because people always mess it up.
Uh-huh.
So it was
Because it's
just
not that
easier.
difficult. Like Sikisa, I've seen harder names, but people still mess it up.
Oh, people still mess it up. People that I've known for years still mess it up. So
Okay.
it's
Uh,
sometimes it's just easier for unless like just call me Twix. It's fine.
and is that your favorite chocolate bar?
It's not. It's not my
Isn't
favorite
it?
chocolate bar. It's not. And it's really funny because I keep getting like for like Christmas or like birthdays, people will give me chocolate related stuff that is Twix, and I'm just like, no.
What should they be getting you so they know? People take note.
Um, that white chocolate that is related to the Ferrero Rocher, I can never remember the name of it, but
Oh,
it's
I
the
know the one.
white
Is it like a
version.
Raffaello or something?
Yeah, that. Get me that.
That's your
I
jam.
do. Yeah, I could eat a whole lot of those. In what? Yeah, those are sexy.
That's the thing.
So
All right, good to know. I also note I've done a bit of stalking, Twix, so I know that you are from Barbados.
yeah, yeah. So me and my
So
family are originally from Barbados.
from
Yeah.
Barbados, I mean the beaches, the palm trees. It's
Yeah.
January. Surely you got to be
I
a bit
don't know why I'm
homesick.
not there. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not there. I don't even know why my parents are not there.
Mm-hmm.
I should be there because it's be bloody hot. But no, we're in lovely UK and it's lovely weather.
How old were
I
you
am
when you
miss.
left Barbados?
I was born here, but I have had citizenship since I was born, and I was there for a few years when I was younger, and then
Uh-huh.
came back. But I class myself as Bajan just because I've always had citizenship since I was born. So I go back and forth normally every year, but due to the pandemic, I haven't been back.
Right.
Uh, so
I'm actually
sad
glad for
times.
you because I think if you'd been raised there and you'd become like a teenager and then your folks were like, guess what? We are moving to somewhere nothing like this.
Well, Barbados actually this year started to do a visa allowing British people to go and live there
Mm-hmm.
for a year during the pandemic, as long as they could work from home. So families were able to go back and forth and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was quite jealous because I'm like, I have a house there and family there, and you get to go there and work from home, and I can't do that.
You could do Zoom
Because
gigs from Barbados.
you could, but I also have another job, so I can't really do that other job when I'm not in the
Okay.
country, unfortunately.
Fair
So
enough. Fair enough. And I know you've said you studied law. You practice in law?
yeah, practice law. I'm a qualified solicitor, have been for the last 8 years. Oh my god, it makes me feel so old.
Don't worry about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you look great, mate.
it makes me feel.
But the
Yeah,
key
I
thing
was
I
quite
want to
young when
know,
I qualified, so yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah, you were like the Doogie Howser of the law school. You were just
yeah.
killing it alongside your GCSEs. But I need knowledge, mate, and you know a lot about wrestling.
Yes, I do. Love wrestling. Absolutely love wrestling.
Okay, tell me about it. Why? And I don't want to be a knob here because I liked wrestling when I was a kid, and I know it's your thing. But also, when I was a kid, found out that it wasn't very real. So
Yeah,
go on, tell
people
me.
love to comment on that the most, that how wrestling is fake. Why do you watch it? Wrestling is fake. And my response is always, well, what is your favorite TV show? It's normally fake. If you're going to
Okay.
include the news, it is fake. So don't judge wrestling because it's considered to be partially fake, but it is sports entertainment. And so you do get an aspect of it being like athletic. That some of the moves that the people and performers do is absolutely crazy. And you're like, that is so athletic. That is so amazing, these skills that these people have performing. But at the same time, it is also entertainment. So you do have a whole range of it being sort of action, drama, humor, these weird love stories that happen, betrayal.
I mean, it does sound a little bit like Geordie Shore, and I used to watch that. So you get all of that.
It basically is. Yeah, it is basically like a sports soap. Yeah, that's what I call it. It's a sports soap. And there is, some of the matches are legendary, and some of the performers are legendary as well. Like, you have people that have come there from or entered the sports entertainment world that have come on to be household names, like The Rock, like Dave Bautista, like Hulk Hogan. People know wrestling and its characters, and if you're gonna watch it, you will be engrossed in it because it is quite addictive. You're like, oh, what is that? Is interesting. If that's the storyline, what's going to happen next week? So,
I mean, as kids, so me and my brothers, we grew up with, you know, Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania, all that sort of stuff. We all had our favorites. My brother, Alex, he loved Hulk Hogan. Julian, he loved The Ultimate Warrior. The British Bulldog was my man. I liked him. And I did really enjoy all of it back then, but I'm so out of touch now. I mean, who's your favorite now?
I currently, so my favorite wrestler of all time is The Undertaker, and he retired officially. Apparently, he's retired officially last year in November. But I have so many current wrestlers that I really love to watch. So American wrestlers like AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan is absolutely amazing. But there's lots of UK wrestlers who are so talented that I go and watch sometimes, like Cara Noir is absolutely amazing. His entrance alone is engaging because with wrestling, it's not just about what they can do in the ring. It's about them having a personality. And it's much like comedy. Like, you have to have a personality in order for you to succeed. You can't just have good in-ring skills. You've got to have a personality to carry what you do. And his entrance alone is just amazing. I will send you the YouTube clip because it is amazing. It takes about 5 minutes for him to get into the ring, but it's worth it.
I know what you mean, because sometimes the ring walk, that's, you know, I remember the excitement we would have when Hulk Hogan would come to, you know, just that first few down on the guitar, and you'd be like, oh my God, you'd be giddy. You'd be going out of your mind. So I do know that is quite a lot of the fun. Do you remember, I remember the point where I had an argument with an older sister who was trying to tell us it was fake when we were kids. And here's how much like we clung to it. It's not fake, it's real. She would say things like, don't you think it's weird that they don't bleed? Like boxers, when they get hit, they bleed. And at the time, it's obviously the 80s, we were like, no, that like Hulk Hogan can get hit in the face with a steel chair and not bleed because he's so tough.
Yeah.
We used to like try and argue as best we could that of course they're not going to bleed. These are superheroes wrestling oiled up in their pants. You know, it's fine. What's the problem with fake tan and everything? Did you have a favorite wrestling move?
My favorite wrestling move is actually involved with a tag team. So it's the Dudley Boys is 3D is my favorite move. I just loved whenever they did it. It comes out of nowhere sometimes, and you're just like, that's an amazing move. However, Randy Orton's RKO is absolutely amazing because it does come out of nowhere sometimes, and it does happen at a time when you're like, oh, where did that come from? And and it just makes the match, and you're just like, this is, So
I mean, did you ever try and reenact them? Because I do have a memory of my brother doing a pile driver on a kid. And that was just fine. You know, we did that in the 80s. That was just normal. Come in, your dinner's ready, shake off that pile driver. You just got in the garden.
Yeah, but going back to the fate thing, like actually a lot of people don't realize that if you do certain moves in the wrong way, you will get generally injured. I have watched live wrestling shows and seen people's legs crack or like just get injured. You're talking about blood, like people actually do sometimes get cut and it's just horrendous when you see it live. Or especially if you're watching it on TV and it is live and something happens that's not meant to happen, you can see some people are panicking, but also you're like, that was not meant to happen, was it? And you just have to keep going. But
have they got a safe word? It's like, pomegranate, I've actually hurt myself.
I think sometimes they do have a safe word, and you do see things, you can see that things change and it's not meant to change, even though they have an endpoint of how the match is meant to end or whatever. But some things do go wrong, and when you do watch it, and it's crazy how that's built up into people's anticipation of how is this match going to go. Like things like when people fall off cages, like Mick Foley falling off a cage was not meant to happen the way it was, but they just kept going, and now it's an iconic Hell in a Cell match.
I did see a clip of someone, I forget who it was years ago, but he jumped off the top turnbuckle, landed, and his leg went. And I can't watch stuff like that. You know, I will be walking down the stairs later on, gripping the banister with both hands, because I just get like my knees turn to jelly and I get paranoid that I'm going to slip and do something similar. So stuff like that really wigs me out.
But like doing things like pile drivers has caused people to have serious spine injuries if you do it the wrong way. But I when I was younger, I used to be quite a tomboy and used to hang out with quite a lot of boys, and we used to like do moves through in the park and attempt to do stone cold stunners and rock bottoms, and so
I mean, it does take a certain amount of athleticism. Yeah, exactly. It does take quite a lot of athleticism to sort of hoist someone up into a suplex. That's not
it's not
a fireman's
easy.
lift.
It's not easy. And it's probably, I think because of that, I'm quite strong now, because I am able to pick up certain people and they're like, how do you do this? I'm like, I've been picking up guys since I was 15. It's fine.
Well, there's a point. Would you ever fancy stepping in the ring yourself, giving it a shot?
I did try once. I have tried. I thought at one point I could be a wrestler. I did try and go to wrestling school in London, and I just was like, no, I can't do this.
So you this could have been your moment to shine, because if you have this superhuman strength from all this lifting, you could have reenacted your equivalent of when Hulk Hogan picked up Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I just don't think I would have been a great wrestler. I think I would have been a better a manager.
Oh, okay. So you got the smack talk.
Yeah, the smack talk and just like standing on the side and just like causing distractions. I think I would have been a better manager than I would have been a wrestler. So
okay. So have you been and seen it live and gone with one of them big foam hands in the crowd?
I have been to see WWE live at the O2, and we was like in a special VIP section. It was a lot of money, but it was worth it. It was a lot of money. We didn't have any signs or stuff like that. We were just enjoying ourselves, and it was the first and hopefully not the last time I've ever been to see a live WWE show. But I used to go, obviously before lockdown and COVID. I used to go and watch wrestling in London quite a lot. So there is actually a comedian who is a wrestler called Jerry Bakewell.
Oh, okay.
And so he used to be a wrestler. Well, he's still a wrestler, and he does comedy as well. So as his character. So I used to watch live shows in London. So Lucha Britannia, Progress Wrestling, which was in Camden. Used to go watch it a lot, and you get really good seats, because they only was like maybe at Progress there's only like maybe 200 people there.
Right. Okay.
But some comics also love wrestling, like Richard Wright, Mark Cram love wrestling, Gary Knightley. So we used to go and watch it. it's just be a nice day on a Sunday just to get drunk and watch some wrestlers.
Fair enough. Maybe that's how I should have approached it. I do want to ask, everybody loves a shout out. Would you like to shine a spotlight on a mate?
I do want to shine a spotlight on a friend. I want to shine a spotlight on Lucy Thatcher.
Okay.
She is a very good friend of mine who has written a book about her experiences of growing up in the UK as a biracial woman and how she feels about the fact that she's now got a child who is also a young girl who's absolutely smart, even though she's only 5, and how growing up with and putting, so basically she's written a whole lot of poems about her experiences and how she feels about having a child now. So she's written a book, buy it.
Yeah.
So
Lucy
available
Thatcher.
on Amazon, Lucy Thatcher. Yeah.
All right. Well, we will post a link to that in YouTube. Anything else you want to plug or promote that you're working on?
You can follow me on Instagram, which is Sikisa Comedy or Twix Comedy, like the chocolate. You can follow me on Twitter. I don't really use it, but follow me on Twitter. And just watch out. Hopefully 2021 will be a better year than 2020. And we'll be able to do some live gigs again.
You know what? And if you're into wrestling, keep an eye out in the crowd because you might see Twix there.
You probably will. Yeah, you probably will, because there's not many Black people that go to wrestling that are female. So there's not many Black female people that go to wrestling. And
You've just sewn up that niche.
Yeah, you will see me there. However, one of my highlights, I will end it on this, one of my highlights of last year was performing in a wrestling ring. I was doing stand-up in a wrestling ring full of wrestlers for an all-female wrestling night. And it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. So,
that sounds wicked.
Yeah. Eve Wrestling is great. Yeah, Eve Wrestling.
Eve Wrestling. I will check it out. If I'm going to watch wrestling drunk with you and the fellas, what am I drinking? What we doing? I
drink cider. So I'm a cider drinker. The boys will drink a whole lot of beer. So
all right.
They normally drink like Camden Hells and shit, and I'm just like, no.
All right. I think you just about sold it to me then. If I grab myself a cider, I can get myself through a bit of wrestling and find the love for it again. Sikisa Twix, it's been wicked hanging out with you. Thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. All of the links to all of your good stuff will be posted just here below on YouTube.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Welcome.